Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to just go a little bit further into stars and talk about their fusion process. So that means today I'm actually going to show you my little drawings on my board over here. But first, just a little bit of background. So all stars get their light because they fuse in a nuclear process. And so what that means is protons come together and form new elements. And the two that we're going to be talking about today are the proton-proton chain, which is hydrogen into helium, and that is the most abundant in all stars. But then when you get bigger stars, you start to get into the CNO chain, which is carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. And so I will explain about this process and how you get the light and other things that come from this fusion process. But also, there are two simulations that show you the process, the same one that I will be showing you. So I will put those links in the description so you can look and see for yourself. But since this is a what is, I'm not going to run the simulations myself because I like to keep these a little bit shorter now. So there's a distinct difference between the what is episodes, which are supposed to be short explainers, and the lessons, which are supposed to be longer and more in depth. So today we're just gonna head over to the board over here. I'm gonna just explain some of the processes that happen, and then I will afterwards give some detail about the other elements that are found in the cores of stars, especially when they start to die, and how that contributes to all life in the universe. Hey, so sorry for that silence, but as you can tell, I have different clothes on now because when I was originally recording that video, OBS decided to crash, and it almost took my computer with it. So I had to go through and see what was salvageable of the actual recording, and I wound up just scrapping most of it. So we're not actually going to be going over to my board because there's an issue with lighting. I couldn't get it lit right. It just, this camera, I guess, doesn't really work to, like, you can't focus it on, and you can't, like, when you're taking a picture of something on your phone, you can click on it and it'll make sure that that object is lit. Yeah, this can't do that. And neither can OBS, so it's just gonna redo it. But we are going to talk about the proton-proton chain first. And this is the key that I made because the things that I drew. So if you see a blue squiggly line, that's gamma, neutrino, positron, neutron, proton. Okay, and so up on the top, I listed the elements and their number, which, as you know, corresponds to the number of protons in it, and then the weight. And these I put over here, these are the major building blocks of life, and they are all found in stars, and they're made from stars. So over here we have the proton-proton chain, and that's when you take 4 hydrogen. So this is repeated twice. You have 4 hydrogen that each come together on their own, so 2 by 2. They release a positron and create a deuterium. Then, release a neutrino as well. Then that comes together with a third proton, which releases a gamma, and this gamma right here is the equivalent to this gamma, so they both have released it, and now you see from there they come together to make this I didn't color it right down here, but this is what it's supposed to look like. 2 proton, 1 neutron for helium. Then these two will come together and they will kick out 2 hydrogens, and that forms the complete helium. So this is the process that every star goes through to fuel itself. So you need 4 hydrogens to start this process. But by the end, you've used 6 and lost 2. Now the CNO cycle comes around when you have larger stars, because they can get more of those heavy elements in them. So with the CNO, you start with a carbon-12, which, as you can see here, is a proper carbon. And this cycle it shows you the loop. And in that previous recording, I said that there was simulations, but they're actually animations, and I'm not actually sure I can get a link for them, because they are through I downloaded the whole class action system, so it's like an app rather than going online to get them. But I will try to find them online and post them anyway. So for CNO, you start with a carbon-12, and then you add a hydrogen right here. That releases a gamma, which creates this nitrogen-13, which, as you can see over here, nitrogen is 14. Then that will decompose to a carbon-13 and release a neutrino and a positron. Then carbon-13 comes together with another hydrogen, releases a gamma, and becomes nitrogen-14. Then that comes together with its own hydrogen and releases a gamma and becomes oxygen-15. Then that degrades again to nitrogen-15 and releases a neutrino and a positron. This nitrogen-15 comes together with another hydrogen, releases then a proton, and then starts the cycle all over again. So this is the CNO cycle, but I do actually have a better one. This one I drew based off of the animation from UNL, but I do have another one. So this one, let's see if I can, I feel like that would be, there we go. Okay, so for this one, you can see it's just a roundabout chain of events. It just cycle around and around. And so here they have gamma as purple, electron, neutrino as green, positron yellow, and proton white. And you start here with that carbon 12, add a proton, all of these flashes are them, coming together. And whenever they do come together, they release something. And so sometimes they release gamma, and then sometimes they release a neutrino and a positron. And so this cycle, shows you a little bit easier how it just is a cycle. Again, the one that I drew is based off of the animation, which goes exactly as it was drawn. It was just like lines, and then it had an arrow going back up to the top. But here, it's actually a little bit easier. And as you can see on the animation, it had it listed as a proton being released. So it released a proton, and it became something else in this region right here. But it actually releases a proton and a helium-2, and that's how it becomes the carbon-12 again. And that cycle just goes on and on. You can see all of these gammas here that are being released. That's the light that we see from these stars. And back here, I have this really cool graphic about how helium becomes beryllium and then becomes carbon. So in this scenario, you have two full heliums coming together. So after that proton-proton chain where you have hydrogen turning into helium, you have two of those heliums coming together, releasing a gamma and becoming beryllium-8. That then comes together with another proper helium, releasing another gamma and turning into carbon-12. And so this then completes that chain between the proton-proton chain getting from hydrogen all the way to oxygen. So all of this is happening inside of these stars that we see, and this is how it gives us the radiation that we need to grow our crops, to raise our animals, to get the vitamin D we need, and just to make the sky look pretty at night as well. So I hope this little explainer was easy to follow. And now you know the complete process to get from hydrogen all the way to oxygen within stars. And now you can go through and see how much of all of these elements you need. And then maybe if you can figure out how long it takes for that process to work, then you can also calculate how long that star will last. Maybe UNL would take recommendations for adding animations to their class action, because having that in-between step, getting from hydrogen to carbon, would really just complete that cycle. So I might look into that. But for now, I will leave it at this, and we will be back later this week. Even though the schedule is thrown off a little bit, I plan on sticking to the schedule, releasing a video Friday or Saturday, and we will see when the next Discord chat will be. I would like to do it before the 25th. If you have any suggestions, join the Discord, tell me in there, or you can just comment on the video. But for now, remember to like and subscribe and tell all your friends about it. And just enjoy what's left of the summer. Well, I still have summer. Not sure what other states do or when they go back. But if you're already in school, well, I hope this will just be a little relief for you. If you are still on summer, well, have a good rest of your summer. And if you're working, well, again, I hope this is just a good relief for you. And I hope that you learned something. So, for now, you can join us in the Discord whenever. Chat with us however often you want. And I will be back later. Keep looking up.
I know I can love you, baby.